Hello, welcome. This is Chels Daft and this is the weekend roundup, an extended video on the channel. It's normally a 5-minute news video, but this is extended with all the latest Chelsea stories that are featured over the course of the weekend. And let's get cracking. So to Willian. Willian drops Chelsea contract bombshell amid Tottenham and Arsenal transfer links. There's been all sorts of reports about Willian saying that he wants a 3-year deal. Chelsea are only going to give him a 2-year deal. It looks as though the contract talks have literally stopped. Willian said this: "Everyone knows my contract ends now in a few months, so the renewal is a really difficult thing to happen. I think it'll be very difficult for me to renew because Chelsea offered me 2 years. I asked for 3 and it ended there. We don't talk anymore. We don't negotiate anymore. 3 years, Chelsea said, really impossible. So for now there's this difficulty, but nothing is impossible. We don't know what can happen. Suddenly we can make a deal and get it right, but what I can say today is that my contract is going over and I'll be free to negotiate with any team." And this is also featured in the Evening Standard, and more on Willian and links to Tottenham shortly. So to Chelsea legend Gary Cahill, who signed for Crystal Palace back last summer and has played for them and been an outstanding player for Palace all season. He's revealed the reason he actually left Chelsea and that he turned down a move to Arsenal. As we know, Maurizio Sarri didn't quite fancy Gary Cahill and kept him out of the side, and Cahill only featured sparingly at best, let's just say that. Cahill said this: "We went to the 2018 World Cup, got to the semi-finals, so I missed pre-season, which I think was massive looking back now. Sarri was very much into his tactics, probably too much, and I missed all of that. I was on the back foot. To be brutally honest, halfway through the season the relationship was gone. I don't think that was ever going to be recovered. It's difficult to have respect for some of the things he did, but I have a lot of respect for the club and for the players. As a big finger then, as captain, to go about things totally the wrong way, which I easily could have done, that's not the way to do it. Was that easy? No. Was that one of the most mentally toughest things to deal with? Especially because it went on for so long? 100%. The maddest thing is when you don't play for whatever reason, if you're out of form or if you've had a few bad games and someone's playing better than you. I know in my head that if you give me 4 or 5 games in a row, I'll be back. I'll take my chance. You know that in yourself because you've got the burning desire inside of you. Give me 5 games and you won't get this shirt back. That's the arrogance you've got to have. The problem is, he never gave me that." Obviously, he went on to explain why he then signed for Crystal Palace. Just interesting to read the situation with Maurizio Sarri, what we all thought last season. Here's an interesting article featured in the Daily Mail. Jamie Carragher: "John Terry was a better version of me." Carragher lauds the Chelsea legend and says the former England defender was as good technically as the world's best. Image of those two battling away in the Premier League, obviously at England together. He said, it's featured on the Sky Sports Off Script podcast. Carragher was asked and said, "John Terry was basically a better version of me. He was bigger, more powerful, better quality on the ball as well. He was one who, when you train with him, went up a level in your eyes. You knew that he was a great player. Technically, he's a lot better than he's given credit for. People always talk about John Terry being this man who put his head and body in front of everything, and he would. And we talk about Rio Ferdinand being the player who was great on the ball. But we forget that Rio was a great defender and that John Terry was great on the ball. John Terry could pass the ball 60-70 yards with his left foot. The best ball-playing centre-back in the world would struggle to do that. So he was definitely one that you would think was a top player, and you'd see that with England. I agree, I don't think JT was given half the credit he deserved for his ability on the ball. Eden Hazard deserves a statue outside Stamford Bridge for his 7-year Chelsea career. That's come from the NBA star and Blues fan Larry Nance Jr. Talking to the Chelsea Mic'd Up podcast, he said this: "It's impossible to deny that Eden Hazard deserves a statue one day. He's unbelievable. Seeing him go was one of those things that, being involved in sport, I understand. Even with basketball, we have a cap, so teams must spend the same. It's not like that in football. Leaving Chelsea to go to Real Madrid, I get it. It's a bigger pond. It's a little sad, but at the same time, I respect his decision. Same with Thibaut. I'm pretty sure his family's in Madrid, so that's where he wanted to go, so I get that." So Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's getting back to being fit and available and ready to play for Chelsea again once everything starts. He's named the player who left an impression on him on his first Chelsea training session, and he's given this story about how he was paired up with Blues legend Didier Drogba on his first training session with the first team aged just 16. He said, "We had day released, and at the end of the day we were about to go home when we got pulled away and they said, 'You two are training with the first team,' and we were like, 'This is mad.' Everyone paired up and then Drogba was left and I ended up pairing with him. a man-to-man with him, it's like he's got a glow around him. When you're that young and you look up to these players and they're the first team players, they've got an aura about them that's so amazing. Transfer news now, and Barcelona have apparently set the price for Philippe Coutinho. They will listen to offers between 70 and 80 million for Coutinho. The Mirror have claimed that Chelsea hold secret talks with Coutinho over the move. It says that Man United, Arsenal and Tottenham have a link with the former Liverpool star, but Chelsea are reportedly bidding to beat the Premier League rivals. More transfer news. This guy, Moussa Dembele, who's been linked with Chelsea for a long period of time now this year, and it seems as though the Chelsea transfer chiefs and the board are at loggerheads over his signing. He claims that Chelsea are desperate to bring in a striker to rival Tammy Abraham for a starting spot, to give healthy competition, and it's said that the Chelsea Chiefs are not entirely sold on the idea, with others such as Lautaro Martinez, Timo Werner and Icardi on the shortlist. It seems as though the jury's out in the Chelsea board as to Moussa Dembele. But one of those players that's linked with Chelsea, Lautaro Martinez, ready to snub both Chelsea and Man City to sign for Barcelona. It's reported that Chelsea and City both made big offers for the striker, but he's got his heart set on a move to Barcelona. Now this goes backwards and forwards. We heard this last week, then it was denied, then it's happening again. So we just have to wait and see what happens. Team talk. Tottenham ready to raid Chelsea for two big name stars. As we know, one of them's Willian. They're interested in signing him on a free transfer, and the second player is Olivier Giroud. It looks as though they're prepared to offer both players a 3-year contract. And Inter Milan have revealed they've got two Chelsea players on their wish list this summer, and those two players are Marcos Alonso and Emerson Palmieri. That's it from me today with this weekend update. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about anything discussed in the video, any of the stories, any of the articles. Post your comments in the comment section below. And while you're there, smash that like button for me. If I can get as many likes from all of you as possible, it helps build the reputation of the channel. And then if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, but make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of these videos that come out. I'm back to posting once a week from this week forward. It'll be at 12 o'clock every single day. The Chels Daft 5-minute news update. Make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to be notified for when it comes out. Thank you so much for watching and your support. See you all tomorrow.